The builder pattern is a creational pattern that features a builder object that is used to create and configure objects that are eventually built via the builder. And I think the key word here is configuring. So we are configuring an object to build, and this configuration should really be optional. I should be able to build whatever object I want to build via the builder without configuring anything. So if the configuration is required, then you might want to consider using the factory pattern. And we see this pattern a lot with third-party packages, such as Entity Framework Core. There's a DB Context Options builder. And what's great about using these builders is that I don't have to know about all the internal details about what I'm trying to build. I can just use this nice Fluent builder, configure what I want to build it, and I get back what I need. The configuration is very simple, unlike this demo that I have right here. So in this demo application, I have these form submitters. So on a form submitter, you just submit a form, and then I've implemented this default form submitter that takes a form validator. So it validates my form. If it's invalid, it'll throw an exception. And then it submits the form, pretty simple placeholder that we have right here. So let's take a look at our form validator. So I have this implemented in two different ways. We have the default form validator here, and that'll just throw exceptions if the form's email or username is empty. And then I have a skipping form validator that does nothing. So by skipping, it just means it skips validation. And this could be useful if the client simply doesn't want to validate. So that is how the form submitter works. And I also have this receipt form submitter. So it'll submit the form and then send a receipt for the form submission. So lots of potential configuration here. You could have receipts, you could skip validation, but what's important is that that's all optional. You could just use a default form submitter, use the default form validator, and everything else is just optional configuration. So I really think this is a good candidate for the builder pattern because let's say that I want a receipt form submitter, and of course the receipt form submitter takes the actual form submitter, and then the form submitter takes the form validator. And look at how nasty this is to set up. I have to instantiate so many things. It'd be so much easier if I had a builder that I could use to configure this fluently and then get back my form submitter according to my configuration. So let's create a form submitter builder. So I'm going to put that in my form submitters folder here. We'll call it the form submitter builder. So of course this is going to have a method to build the form submitter. So we'll simply call that build, and we'll implement that in a second. But what kind of configuration options are we going to give on this builder? So I want to give the client a way to make sure that the built form submitter will send a receipt after the form is submitted. So we'll have a method for that, and we'll call that with receipt. So all we're going to do here is have a Boolean field for with receipt, and we're going to set that to true. So let's generate that field, and we're going to use this Boolean that's now true when we go to build the form submitter, so that we can build a form submitter that will send receipts when the form's submitted. So how else do we want to let the client configure this form submitter? Well, we want to provide a way to skip validation. So I'll have another method here to skip validation, and we'll do the same thing. We'll put a field for skip validation, another Boolean, and we'll set that to true. So the client can do all of this configuration, and then they can build their form submitter. So let's use these configured booleans to build the correct type of form submitter. So let's just instantiate a regular form submitter. We'll call it the default form submitter, and that'll just be our regular form submitter. Now this takes a form validator, so we're going to have to get one of those first. So an iForm validator, we'll call this form validator, and what do we want to instantiate here? Well, we're going to have to check what the skip validation boolean flag is, because if they want to skip validation, then we want the form validator to be a skipping form validator, but if they don't, then we just want a regular form validator. So I'm going to encapsulate all that logic into a method, and we'll call this build form validator. Generate that method. So if skip validation is true, the client wants to skip validation, then we're going to return a skipping form validator, but otherwise we're just going to return a regular form validator. Cool, so now we'll have the correct form validator, and we can pass that to the form submitter. So what if the client wants receipts? Then with receipt will be true, so we need to accommodate for that. So if with receipt is true, then we want the form submitter to be a receipt form submitter, and we need to pass in our default form submitter to that. And I actually want to rename this to just regular form submitter, because right now it is our receipt form submitter, so we just need a generic name there. And now we are ready to give back our built form submitter because we've now considered all of these configuration parameters so the builder is fully functioning. So let's see how we use this. So instead of all of this instantiation where I have to know about all the concrete types, instead I want to use the form submitter builder. So let's instantiate the builder. We'll just call it builder, and now let's use it. So I want this form submitter to skip validation, and I also want it to give me back a receipt. So we'll use with receipt, and now I'm ready to build my form submitter using the builder. Just simply build, and there we go. Let's try this out. So we are skipping validation, so I should be able to provide an empty email, and I won't get any validation exception. So let's do that. I'll even skip the username too, and my favorite number is 4, I guess. So there we go. There was no validation because it did submit the form. And then we also got a receipt as well, so it did consider our receipts. So let's say I want validation now. I can just comment this out. So we'll do empty values again, and there we go. The validation does work this time. And we'll try with no receipt as well. And there we go. It just submitted it, no receipt. So our builder is working, but it's not really fun to use. Like, we have to instantiate the builder, and then call these methods, and then call build. Let's turn this builder into a Fluent Builder. So how do we do that? Well, what we can do is we can return this form submitter builder instance after each configuration method. So we'll just return this and do the same thing for the skip validation method. Return the form submitter builder. And now take a look at how we can use this. So we have all of these methods one by one, but instead, let's just instantiate our builder here, and we are going to skip validation, and then we can call with receipt, and then we can call build. So we can do it all in this one nice chain statement. The Fluent Builder, very nice to read, and we can get rid of all of this other nonsense. And we can chain these all together because we return the form submitter builder after each method, so we can just call the next method that we want. Very clean, and it still works as well. So if I were to publish all of these form submitter and form validator classes and interfaces into a NuGet package, clients wouldn't have to worry about all of these concrete types, such as the receipt form submitter, the regular form submitter, the form validator. Instead, all they'd need to know about was the form submitter builder, and they could use the builder to configure any kind of form submitter that they want. And that is the true power of the builder pattern. It just abstracts all of these concrete types and provides a very clean interface for clients to use. So that is the beautiful builder pattern, and I hope you all can use this in your own applications to provide clean, fluent interfaces for clients to build and optionally configure complex objects. If you have any questions, criticisms, or concerns, be sure to leave them below in the comments section. But other than that, leave a like or subscribe for more. Thank you.